Hello, my name's Ken Knight. I'm from Princess Motor Yacht Sales. We're here today to give you a really detailed broker walkthrough of this stunning S65. We've got this boat in stock. She's available, lots of options on board, and it'll be my pleasure to walk you through the boat today. So as we step up into the cockpit of this S65, it's immensely stylish. Wherever you look, there's detail just to drink in with your eyes. Just from these stainless steel with this rubbing strake that's built into these fairlead, all very neat and designed, oyster grey paintwork. It really is a feast for the eyes. It's a very sporty aesthetic on this boat. At the back of the boat, in terms of what we've got a big high-low platform, and then we've got a tender garage as well. So in the tender garage, we've got a Williams 345, there's stowage for a Seabob alongside. So it does give you a very clean aesthetic. But with it having a garage and be able to stow the tender inside, it does give you the potential to possibly put a jet ski on the platform in addition, if that's what you desire. We've also got on the starboard side a large passerelle, letterbox, very discreet, so 4-metre reach on that. We've got our shower, which is discreetly tucked in on this port side as well, for any water sports when you're coming in and out of the water. And then we've got this really large sun pad. I love this space, the way you've got a lounging space here, this triple sun pad aft, really nice seating wrap, a little bit more formal, a table that we can fold up or deploy depending on the need. If we were just having drinks or we're having a full meal, we may decide that this is easy just for getting in and out. But it does mean that you can sit down, enjoy the space, people can be a bit more relaxed as well. That social interaction in this space is fantastic. We've also got this nice seat over on the starboard side, snuck in. It's a real sheltered spot. Maybe we're underway. More styling cues, but practical, giving me protection from the elements when we're underway. Very sheltered back here. And then we've also got a third helm station on this starboard side. So med mooring, we're all set up with this boat. We've got a third helm station, control of our main engines, our variable speed e-thrusters. We'll touch on those later. We can also do anchoring from here. So everything you need for med mooring. We've got stern winches with foot controls. We can control our passerelle from here. So you're all set up for that style of mooring. Easy to forget and overlook. We have got a crew cabin on this boat. It is quite modest, so anytime you've got a garage on the stern of a boat, obviously you're competing for the same amount of space. It does give you some flexibility, but it is going to be rather modest. Other things we've got back here, we've got this electric awning overhead, so we can give some shade to that sun pad if we want to. We've got underwater lights on this boat, so we've got 8 lights in total, Lumishore lights, give it a sense of presence, maybe enjoy a spot of fishing, draw the fish in the evening. We've got a Fusion head unit, so we can easily connect our phone. We've got some Fusion speakers in the deck heads, so you're going to have entertainment on this deck regardless. I think what we'll do is we'll head up to the flybridge. So coming up to the flybridge here, it's a sports yacht flybridge on the S65, so it's a little more modest, but really good size. I mean, obviously with an S-class yacht, you do get that electric sliding roof. We've got a tender garage aft, so the design kind of ticks all the boxes. It gives you the best of all worlds. Starting at the back here, I mean, I just have always drawn to the aesthetic, how integrated this radar arch is, how sleek and elegant it is. We've got the bladed Raymarine Cyclone radar, really fits this boat. And then we've got the wet bar nestled in this corner. Canyon grill, great, the smells go off the back of the boat. Sink, large refrigeration, which is really handy. We don't struggle for refrigeration up here. We've got another cool box for drinks at the top of the steps there. Starboard side, got this really large table. Easily get 8 people around it, probably 12 in a pinch, with a couple of stools up here that we've got down below in the cabin, or maybe a couple of directors' chairs. This will drop down on telescopic posts, and then we can put a cushion insert on the top, make it a lovely big sun pad if we want to. I mean, you're spoilt for choice of this boat, because obviously we've already come past the big cockpit. We've got a movable backrest here, so we can obviously have a bit more space sitting around the table, or push that back and then put an insert here, so this becomes another sun pad. Opposite the helm station here could be laid out, relaxed and enjoying the boat as you're underway. Obviously lots of protection from the windshield here. And then we've also got this large bimini, so electric hydraulic bimini, touch of a button, takes all the huff and puff out of it. It can be deployed. You just then put the strops in. There's LED lighting built into the bimini as well, so you want some shade over lunchtime or maybe in the evening when you want to dine up here. You've got complete flexibility, but bear in mind we've got a fantastic cockpit on this model as well. Moving to the helm station, I always love this pass-through that Princess achieved, and thinking about the ergonomics. I can sit down here on the co-pilot seat, not disturb the person on the helm. I mean, this is a great position to helm this boat from, 65 foot, really commanding position. You've got really punchy performance with this boat. We've got MAN V12-1400 horsepower per side on shafts. So when you put this boat in gear, you really know it. But it's not just untamed power. We've got the latest generation of variable speed E-thrusters from Schneitner. So when you're coming into a berth, you know, they are variable speeds. You can really feather the boat into the berth. The E-thruster element to it, this latest generation, is a brushless motor. What that means is you've got a much longer run time than a traditional bow thruster. So yeah, you've got lots of ways of utilising the power on this boat. It's still very usable, even though it's a really strong performer. Helm station is beautifully laid out. Allure pack, so we've got the oyster grey painted finish here, breaks up the colours. We've got a black gloss dashboard, everything's countersunk, you know, minimum amount of clutter, 3 MFDs, generally that middle one you'd have as your engine data. We have got 2 cameras on the boat, so we've got an aft-facing camera there for stern docking. We've also got a thermal Raymarine camera in the engine bay, just keep an eye on those MANs. And then remote control for the MFDs. We've got searchlight, autopilot, an extra Raymarine screen there, an I-70 for any data that you want, like depth or speed. And then we can do our anchoring from up here. We've got control our bimini, our lighting and our horn. And then obviously the main event, our steering wheel with our center weighted cap, always a lovely touch with the Princess. And then our MAN electric response throttles, you know, really meaty, lovely and smooth, nice way of controlling the power. The final place we'll have a look at is the foredeck, because that's the last bit on deck before we head into the interior of the boat. Desperately pretty boat, the S65. More styling cues on the outside here, give it this really impressive stance. We've got this electric blue styling blade. Look at all the curves, just in case you forget which model you're on. And yeah, this headroom actually works really well. So the curve of the superstructure works well with your shoulders, just to give you a bit more space as you're walking down the side deck. Nice sturdy stainless steel rails. And then we arrive on the foredeck here. Latest generation of Princess foredeck. So what I mean by that is, rather than just being a straightforward sun pad like we've got it set up on the port side here, equally we can have that reversed. You know, maybe we want to sit down in the evening, a stern to in the med, you want to have some drinks away from the dock, you can be opposed to someone with a nice little table that will neatly stow away if you don't want it deployed. Again, it just gives you maximum flexibility. You're never too far from some refrigeration on this boat, so we've got a cool box just nestled in between the 2 sun pads there. Easy to grab a drink, so you're never going to be parched. As we move forward, we've got our Teak foredeck and side decks, adds a feeling of class to the boat. And then right up on the bow here, we've got our anchoring arrangement. We've got an upgraded stainless steel 40 kilo Lumar anchor, got cleats, these beautiful sculptured fair leads like we've had at the stern of the boat, absolutely love them. Localized control for the windlass here. Obviously we can do that at the upper helm station, the lower helm station, and also our third helm station. So lots of flexibility from a functional aspect as to how you use the boat. Cup holders built in around the seating, both sets. And then I always love these wing lockers. We've got on both sides on this boat, port side and starboard. For those of you who've had boats before, you can never have too much storage. These will swallow fenders, lines, covers. You don't need to carry anything down to the stern of the boat. A real bonus for crew or family members, most likely that are going to be crewing the boat for you. Just makes life that much easier. Just before we go into the interior, we've got this bar area, sort of an extension of the galley, easy to service this cockpit. So we've got a sink here, don't have to go inside, maybe got wet feet or suntan lotion on. Big cool box there, never far away from a drink on this boat. And then as we step in, Got this flip up glazing here, just on a gas strut, nice and simple, like we see on other Princess models. Opens this space right up, and then you're into this gorgeous interior, flat wooden floor, the feeling of luxury, very consistent with a Princess, obviously. On the port side here, we've got this large galley, lovely return, big fridge, freezer underneath, 4-burner hob there with extraction above. We've got grey tones on this boat that really do break up the satin walnut that we've got on board. It's nearly always the most popular colour. You can get these boats in other woods, but by far and away the satin walnut is the most desirable and what customers are seeking. We've got an oven down there below the hob, double sink, dishwasher, and then obviously some storage in the corner. Opposite this, we've got this dinette area. I really like this space. It's opposite the galley. You can reduce it down if you just want to do a bit of work on a laptop, or maybe you want to have multiple people round for breakfast. And then one small step up, and then we're into this really wide saloon, big seating wrap. Most people gravitate towards the corners. Why not? You can see why. It's a lovely place to spend time. These huge amounts of glazing we've got in this boat, lots of light coming through. You've got blinds everywhere, so you can control the privacy that you enjoy on board. Being a stock boat, we've loaded this boat with options. So over on the starboard side here, we've got a high-low TV that will pop up. We've got an upgraded stereo system, so we've got vocal speakers in the deck heads. More refrigeration here, so fridge for drinks. This is kind of dedicated for an adult's area. Ice maker in the corner there, so it's a great entertaining boat. And then we move up to the helm station. Beautifully appointed. I mean, these seats are an absolute work of art with the quilting that goes into them. The Princess logo stitched into the headrest there, and just, yeah, they're, I mean, immensely comfortable place to sit. Obviously with a flybridge, most customers drive from the flybridge, but when you do need to helm it from inside, the weather's less clement. I mean, it's a fantastic place. I've got great visibility and it's extremely comfortable. We have got a pantograph door on this boat, so I can easily just open that up if I want to get quickly onto deck. But again, we can close the boat down. It's an air sealed door, so it affords you flexibility. And then, you know, it's just getting a bit chilly now, so I can easily close the roof. It's pretty quick, to be honest. It's a 2-stage motor. It closes down just before it makes contact, nice and sealed. And it gives this boat a second character, really. When you've got the roof closed, you feel really cocooned in here. We've got the black sporty headlining in this boat. We've got the shadow pack that's fitted, so a lot of the fittings are not stainless steel. They're dulled down with a black finish. It gives it a really sporty aesthetic that you know, flows from the outside to the inside. At the helm station here, mirrored from upstairs, we've got our MAN throttles here, triple MFDs. Like I say, generally that middle one we used for engine displays. One thing you can't see, which is obvious, is the Seakeeper 18 that's fitted. It's obviously a big option to fit a gyro to any boat. It's an expensive option. It delivers huge benefits. These days they are integrating these MFDs, so there's no separate panel to give you a really clean dashboard. You know, you just turn it on when you're on the dock, I would suggest, or obviously with the generator running. It's an upgraded generator to power everything on this boat. You're not going to be short on power, but yeah, it's a really significant option to cover off. But yeah, these helm stations are absolutely beautiful. Again, center weighted cap with the steering wheel. These are all upgraded because we've got the Allure pack on this boat. I think what we'll do is we'll head down to the lower deck. So this is our accommodation deck, but just before we get down there, we've got our main switch panel here, so we can really control all the major items on the boat. We can fire our generator from here. We can see shore power coming onto the boat, and I can quickly isolate any elements. You know, if I want to turn off all the exterior lights, make sure nothing's left on before I go to bed, I can do that from here. It's a 4-cabin boat, 3 heads on the S65. The 4th cabin is bunk berths. Tends to be really popular with young children and grandchildren, but they are suitable for adults as well. They're wide, they're good in length, and that top bunk gives you a lovely view out onto the water. And then our 3rd cabin here on the starboard side, we've got it set out as twins. Touch of a button, you can electronically join that together, become a double berth. We've got the upgraded AV package, so we've got a TV in there. We've got audio visual. The 3rd cabin's got that Jack and Jill door, so you've got an ensuite directly to the 3rd bathroom, and then we can use this as a day heads from here. You can see the sporty aesthetic with the black fittings, the more grey wood tones that you get. It gives it a very different flavour, this boat. And then we're through into this VIP cabin forward. Lovely place. you know, real detailed. I mean, it does feel like the Y classes with this detailed walnut inlay in the deck heads. That's where I've seen that. It's an elevated finish on this 65. And then when you're in the berth, you're looking straight out onto the water. You know, that game of inches has been played by the Princess designers, and they've got it absolutely dialed in. It's a lovely cabin to spend time. Grain match, you've probably heard me say before, you know, running through the cabinetry. Lots of storage wherever we can get it. 4 overhead lockers, 2 big drawers beneath the berth, and then we've got a large hanging locker on the port side here, lined and lit. Access to technical space there. Hopefully an owner will never need that. Obviously it's lovely rich carpet we've got on this boat, and then we've got a really large 43-inch TV on the bulkhead here. You can hide yourself away in this cabin, enjoy a film at night, fully air conditioned. You can set that heating, but if you do want to turn that off and obviously have natural ventilation, we've got a couple of portholes either side as well. Yeah, it just gives you maximum flexibility. Dedicated ensuite for this cabin. So as we head through, yeah, large heads compartment. And I love this shower. I mean, look how much elbow space you've got in here. Got blinds there. We've got this black detailing, this grey wood colour in the Princess. First boat I've seen that. Gives it this sporty look, which is, yeah, quite different from everything else in the range. And then as we head back into this sort of lobby area, we drop down into the master cabin, but there's some really nice storage just before we get there. We've got a storage locker there that you can stow the 2 stools that are used in the dinette. So great to have those stowed when you're underway. Really large lockers here. This lower one, we've got a washer dryer in, so that's handy. And then we've got storage above. Never have too much storage. And then we're into this cabin, this master cabin. I mean, these Princess cabins are always very, very calm. This satin walnut inlay, the indirect lighting. You could spend weeks on here. It's a very easy boat to live with. You know, it's got lots of presence on the outside, presence in the saloon, and as you come down into the boat, just a slightly calmer character, which is probably what you want in the areas, you know, when you're waking up in the morning or going to bed, somewhere to sit just to prepare yourself for the day or wind down from the end of a day. And then what I really like on this boat is the heads compartment. It's behind a bulkhead, naturally gives you a noise deadening barrier from the engine bay, which is incredibly well insulated. But yeah, really nice layout. So in the master heads compartment here, we've got this lovely big mirror, very clean, simple aesthetic, countersunk sink, countersunk shower tray, 2 shower heads. We've got a rainfall shower head there and the deck head, and then a handheld there. Just gives you flexibility. This black aesthetic everywhere, giving that sporty feel, and that grey wood as well. We'll head back up into the saloon to round things off, I think. I hope you've enjoyed our broker walkthrough of this stunning S65 that we've got in stock today. Lots of options to look at as we go through the boat. I mean, these Princesses, when we build them, there's 30+ pages of options. As a business, we've been selling Princesses for over 60 years. It's all that accumulated knowledge that we use to select the options that we think customers are really seeking. We will always go for a high specification example. It makes for a turnkey package. I mean, on this boat, we've got the largest engines. We've got that Williams ready to go. We've got the passerelle, everything that's needed for med mooring, that electric-hydraulic bimini, the Teak foredeck, that Seakeeper 18. Lots of really significant options make for a package ready to go for some lucky owners who enjoy this boat afloat next year. If you'd like more information on this boat, you can have a look on our website, which is princess.co.uk. You can see all the still images of this boat, so specification, but most of all, our contact details are on there. We'd love to have a conversation with you. You know, buying a boat of this caliber, we want to be able to assist you and guide you. This boat is available. We'd love to have a chat.